Salutations, I'm just Mike, and welcome back to Monster Sanctuary. I may be an idiot, because while I was recording this video, spoiler alert, this is not me playing the game right now, it was me playing the game somewhere like half an hour ago. Give or plus or minus 20 minutes. I'm actually rewatching the raw recording of it, that way I can give a voiceover on top of it. Which, you know, might be an interesting style to play out with, because I don't think good while I'm doing things. Here I'm actually trying to figure out how to load my team, because I'm gonna go with Steam, because this fight has a fire weakness and a water weakness, and I was really excited about that. I was like, ooh, I remembered appropriately. See, fire and water weakness, and there I was bragging about it, and now I'm deciding who to put on my team. It ends up being then Beg, Margmaplier, and Blobber, which, by the end of this video, Margmaplier is not going to be a magma pillar anymore, which I think is going to be very interesting. So, what had happened was, this entire recording, for some reason, my microphone wasn't working, and I have a suspicion that I know why. Because there are 3 layers where I can mute myself. There's a button on my microphone that glows red, there's a button on my keyboard that mutes my microphone, and then in OBS itself, I can mute myself. Or any line of audio, realistically. Which is why you're not hearing the game during me recording my voice, that way I can just put it right over the raw footage rather than re-recording the raw footage through a video player. This is just... I am sort of on my own watching the raw footage. But from those 3 points, I could have muted it. And what I think it is, because there's no great indication on my keyboard or my laptop when I have it muted from the laptop itself. So I think that was part of the problem. And then another part of it is, because after I found out that I hadn't been talking, or I hadn't been heard, is more accurate, I was messing around with which USB port everything was plugged into. So I was plugging stuff in here and there and everywhere, just to see. And when I plug in the microphone, it automatically starts as muted. So yeah, I really freaked out, and I went to my Discord server that just has a collection of my friends, and I was like, hey, is anyone free to hop into a call to help me figure out why my microphone isn't working? I was having such like a mini heart attack, because this microphone is really nice and really pretty, and I just got through having a conversation with my friend. She thought like I was using some special audio program to make my voice sound that good. But no, it's just really good hardware. She's actually looking into doing voiceovers, which I'm interested in. I plan on helping her out, letting her mess around with a microphone under my supervision, of course. Just because I really like this microphone and I don't want anything bad to happen to it, unless it's my fault. Which, whatever. But yeah, it's... I'm so very tired. This episode is actually a pleasantly short one. The reason I ended up going with the Ancient Woods rather than going to the boss fight in the dungeon, or going to the Sun Temple that I discovered under the Snowy Peaks, or anywhere in the Snowy Peaks, for that matter, because I can go see that what was it, a goddess in a lake? Some sort of lady figure in a lake, but it's not the lady in the lake, if that makes sense. I was hoping for some crits here. I did not get any crits there. Thankfully the burn is undoing the regeneration, which is nice. It's like an even toss-up right there. It's very pleasant. I'm really proud of how my teams are coming out. I think the reason I lost the fight both times was probably because I was woefully underleveled for that fight. At least most of my monsters were. And it's a fight that you guys didn't even get to see. So we're gonna get back around to it. Right now I'm just exploring. I debate whether I want to fight them. I check the monster journal to see what their weaknesses are. See the water weaknesses. I didn't check it at first. It was like, okay, it's Bat and the Bear. Bat has fire weakness, Bear has water weakness. And then I just walk away. Because I decided no. Because I normally only do 2 fights per episode. That seems to be a good marker for how long an episode is. Of course, that doesn't help when I keep running around avoiding fights. It's sort of a skewed measurement system at that point. So now I head over to where I see the Moth. And I'm just like, it's like a reverse lamp situation. I'm just here like, Moth. I tried avoiding it. And I debated retreating, but I only have 1 smoke bomb. I decided to go with the same team of Markiplier, Blobbert, and then Beg. Just because still got the fire and water weakness going on. There's just less magma pillar in this fight. For some reason, I had a small conniption there. I forgot what happened. I thought maybe I thought I still had to go through magma pillar, despite having already passed his turn or used his turn. Here I'm complaining about regeneration because fuck, regeneration is hard to work around, which is probably why I like applying it to my monsters. Applying Ignite early on I feel like was a good idea. Although maybe it wasn't necessarily because he was at full health, so regeneration wasn't doing jack shit for him. I'm debating putting poison onto the moths because it's nice to have that damage to undo what regeneration is causing, on top of being able to just hit them head on, give them a good old walloping. Check out tomorrow's video, by the way. I think it's probably gonna end up being, if I can get my shit together, it's either gonna be Shovel Knight, it's either gonna be Shovel Knight or Undertale. We'll have to see how the thumbnail making goes, because both of those are like, I'm not even certain on Shovel Knight. I mean, Shovel Knight's gonna be a long ass series because I'm doing every campaign in what I think is somewhat chronological order. So I was gonna like do 1 episode King Knight, 1 episode Spectre Knight, 1 episode King Knight, 1 episode Spectre Knight. Although it's really confusing where those two lie. I know that overlap is certainly there for Shovel Knight and Plague Knight, but for Spectre Knight and King Knight, that lineup isn't quite as clear. I think I want to look through those campaigns again to see which order they're really in, like what clues there are to figuring out what chronological order is. But that actually would take a lot of time that I don't know that I have to dedicate to that. Undertale, though, because I've had assets from my friend Justice Prevail for a short while to do those, and then my Switch died, and then Batman Arkham City happened, and now I have my Switch again, which is wonderful. So I can finally get on those. I just never made the thumbnails during that time. I could also go back to doing Danganronpa, which I'm a big fan of. Although it doesn't seem that a lot of people are interested in those videos, to say the least, which is fair. Undertale, I suspect, would draw a bigger crowd, and I am excited to play it. I can't wait to see what I've forgotten in the past 5 years, what I still remember. I have been purposefully trying not to watch any playthroughs, even though I'm waxing nostalgic for it. This part, I wasn't certain what the best order would be, because Fiery Punches does 4 attacks. It actually looks like it increased the combo by 5 with that weird little arrow thing at the end. So would it have been a better idea to do that and then Incinerate? I certainly conclude that after this, because Sorcery improves the power of Incinerate. So I throw out the fiery punches to increase the combo, and then I throw out Ignite, because Ignite will kill the fucker. And I really like killing fuckers. Triple critical hit. Lucky as hell. 3 stars. I actually questioned why I got the magma pillar egg here. It was a little confusing to me because there were no magma pillars. I actually find out later on something else. Oh, there's a lot of reading towards the end of this. Oh, we'll have to see how that goes. Because that might be tough to get it to actually line up. Like, with me actually reading it from when I first read it and when I'm reading it now. I successfully dodge over these fucks. Get wrecked, nerds. There's a new goblin king in the ancient woods. I've seen him with my own eyes. His band surrounded me and they harassed me with their strange goblin language. I was so scared I ran and stopped only when I reached this place. Someone's got to teach these goblins a lesson. You're a spectral keeper, aren't you? You should go take care of them. The Goblin King is probably hiding up in the Goblin Fortress east of here. Defeat him and the goblins will see what's what. Maybe some of my wares will aid you against those goblin ruffians. I take a look over these. The Poison Dart is interesting. Heavy Mace I think is a little more interesting. Actually, no. Heavy Mace isn't. Bow is really interesting because it does an extra attack. I don't look at the Orb Tome or level badge. I know what the level badge does. And then we go and talk to her. Some monsters that you find in the sanctuary can change into a completely different form. Would you like to know more? Absolutely, I'd like to know more, so I say yes. In nature, this occurs through the lengthy process of metamorphosis. However, the Tree of Evolution can speed up the process. You only need a certain item to make a monster evolve. A catalyst. Each monster with an evolution needs a different catalyst. Present the monster together with the catalyst at the Tree of Evolution to change its form. However, be warned that your monster will lose many of its abilities and features on evolution. Generally, an evolved monster is stronger than before, but you might not like the changes. I actually have trouble reading you might not like the changes here, so I'm going to take a drink of water. Jesus, so it's absolutely okay to not evolve your monsters if you don't want its ability to change. Oh. Sometimes keepers can come to me and bring me catalysts that they found when they have no use for them. There's no reward in it. Those keepers just want somebody else to get something out of it. Usually I don't know exactly which monsters these catalysts are for. So it'd be interesting to see someone to figure out which monsters can evolve thanks to these catalysts. You travel a lot, don't you? You must see a lot of different monsters across the sanctuary. Recently somebody came by and gave me this magical clay. Obtain magical clay. I can give you a small hint at least. This clay is from the same river as the monster that needs it to evolve. Whew. Then I'm thinking about what rivers I've seen. It's said that if you rub it on the monster's back with clay, it grows into a large dragon-type monster. Come back here once you've successfully used this catalyst on a monster. I don't actually end up using that catalyst. I do use another one that I find that I have. I thought this would be in a catalyst, but it's not. It's just a key. And then I check up here just because. But what really shocked me was that there's a dragon type. An individual monster's name is important for a successful bond between keeper and monster. If you like, I can change one of your monster's nicknames. They'll obey when you call it by its new name. And I said no, because I'm fond of my monster names, despite how terrible they are. This is the Tree of Evolution, most important monument of the Monster Sanctuary. History time. Okay. Would you like to know more about the history of this place? Yes. It was here that the war between the first keepers and the kings of the old world was ended. Right underneath this tree, a powerful spell was cast that brought all of the other areas of the sanctuary into being. The ancient woods are the only area that was once part of the old world. Everything else was created by magic. They say that the lands of the old world were struck by a powerful earth shakes as a result. But at last there was peace, and the monsters had a land of their own. Ever since, the Tree of Evolution stands as a symbol of change and the potential of the bond between monsters and keepers. And now I actually look through my catalysts. I think I start by looking through the journal to see if I can identify what monsters come from rivers. And then I notice inside the journal, oh yeah, I thought it would be Rocky Road. Like, you rub the clay on him. I don't know why, probably just because clay and rocks. But yeah, I look through the monster journal to see... Oh, I open a reward box, dude. Red gem. I read what the monster bell does. It respawns all defeated wild monsters immediately, which is... It seems like a good thing to have for grinding. I talk about how I should probably feed my monsters. Lament the fact that I only have one smoke bomb. And these are all my catalysts. As you can see by the tab, I didn't read the tab before. I actually take a wild guess that the cocoon probably evolves Magmaplier, because it's a magma pillar, it's a caterpillar. So it should evolve into something using a cocoon. So I evolve a Magmaplier into a magma moth. And there, the realization hits me that the reason I got a magma pillar egg was because the magma moth is the evolution to the magma pillar. So I actually hatch a magma pillar here, and I name it something else. It's actually a reference to My Hero Academia. They're not fucking nuts. It's not My Hero Macadamia. I call him Magmillion, like Lemillion. I probably spelled it wrong, but whatever. I actually look through the catalysts again, trying to figure out who the magical clay is for. I take some wild guesses as to what the Shard of Winter's for. Like, I think maybe it'll change Blobbert into an ice blob. I am surprised to find bios. I haven't looked through this book enough. That's just kind of how it goes. The art is gorgeous, though. Like, every single one of these, they're so interesting. But yeah, I look for any one of them that has an indication that they're from a river, or that they're from anywhere. That was me taking the guess at the ice blob, maybe coming from Blobbert, Blobbertson, Blick. But yeah. It's really interesting. Because this one says that it was found in polluted areas in the ocean. That, however, doesn't tell me where they actually come from in the New World. Because that was just where they were originally found. And I give up. And I say thank you guys very much for watching. Remember to take care of yourselves. Tomorrow's another day. Oh, I fudge around with the map and I notice some interesting things, like the top and bottom arrows are grayed out. I'm actually going to report that as a bug after watching this, because you can see the top one and the bottom one are blinking now. So what that says to me is that they ended up in a layer behind the black overlay that they're putting on the screen to display the map. And they're also ending up behind the map, so that sort of adds to that. On top of that, I've seen a similar thing happening in Tracks the Train Set game, where the arrow that indicates your actual speed ends up behind not only the red line that it normally covers when it gets up to it, because the red line is where you're setting your speed to, and it's building up towards that speed, because trains take a while to build up speed. That black line with the arrow actually sinks below the red line, then below the meter itself. And I imagine that seems to be a common issue, which makes sense. I mean, it's some issue with layering, and I don't know why it's blinking necessarily, but I don't know enough about game design to actually suggest how to fix it. That's just my random guess as to what the issue might be. And that should be taken with a grain of salt. And I should be the one to report it, because when you report things that you've seen in YouTube videos, it doesn't tend to be... I don't think it tends to be helpful, necessarily. I don't know what I'm saying. There I was trying to do a fancy goodbye by gliding with Victor. Thank you guys very much for watching. Remember to take care of yourselves, and that tomorrow's another day. I hope to see you then. Bye!